Every month, thousands of families pack up their lives and point their moving trucks toward Austin, Texas, drawn by the promise of hill country living. But when you start looking for a home, you run into the city's defining geographical challenge. Austin is massive, covering over 50 different zip codes that stretch for miles in every direction. Decades of rapid highway expansion pushed development past the central core. Instead of growing up, Austin grew out, creating a patchwork of sprawling suburban rings. This wide footprint is exactly why new residents get so much conflicting advice. A coworker might swear by the northern suburbs, while your real estate agent pushes you south. Both are right, depending entirely on what you value. Succeeding here means letting go of the idea of a universally perfect neighborhood. You have to actively choose which compromises you're willing to make. When buying a home here, your decision comes down to 3 variables: cost, commute, and schools. Think of this like an iron triangle. You can prioritize 2 points, but you must sacrifice the third. If you want a short downtown commute and top-tier schools, you'll pay a premium. Home affordability will plummet. In Austin, it's often the Independent School District, or ISD, that dictates the price tag. A highly rated boundary line drives up a home's value faster than its actual square footage. You have to master this trade-off before you start browsing listings. Acknowledging the iron triangle is the only way to avoid severe buyer's remorse later. Let's start by looking at the central core, the zip codes immediately surrounding downtown, the state capital, and Lady Bird Lake. Just west of the city limits sits the premium inner ring, defined heavily by neighborhoods like Westlake Hills. This chart maps housing affordability against proximity to downtown. Westlake Hills sits right here, in the low affordability, high proximity corner. You get a 10-minute drive to the city center and access to the elite Eanes ISD, but the cost of entry is steep. Buyers here often accept older homes or smaller plots of land. You are spending your budget strictly to buy back your commute time and secure exclusivity. If you want to stay central but need a different balance, consider urban hubs like Mueller or Circle C to the southwest. These hubs shift into moderate affordability. You gain walkable streets, farmers markets, and commute times under 25 minutes. But to get that, you trade yard size and typically shift out of elite districts into the standard Austin ISD. Choosing to stay inside the urban core requires accepting that your money is going toward lifestyle amenities and reclaimed weekday hours, rather than physical space. Now, let's drive 25 to 35 minutes away from downtown, either straight north or straight south. This puts you in the suburban value ring. Up north, you hit Cedar Park and the city of Round Rock. Down south, you find Buda and the growing town of Kyle. Many families flock out to these suburbs specifically for the schools. The northern suburbs offer access to the Leander and Round Rock ISDs, which consistently rank among the best in the state.
Looking back at our chart, these cities land squarely in the high affordability zone. Your dollar stretches much further here, buying modern, spacious homes in family-friendly neighborhoods. But moving out here means leaving the famous Keep Austin Weird culture behind. You are trading eclectic urban energy for master-planned, standard suburban developments. And then there's the drive. The distance from downtown translates to a heavy daily toll on I-35, or MOPAC if you have an office job in the city center. The suburban ring is a clear calculation. You absorb the burden of a long commute to secure financial peace of mind and educational certainty. If you look west of the city limits, the terrain shifts into the steep hills and winding waterways of the Texas Hill Country. This area is home to what we call the lifestyle escapes, communities like Steiner Ranch, Lakeway, and Dripping Springs. Buyers are drawn here by the environment. You get immediate access to Lake Travis, extensive hiking trails, and much larger residential plots with sweeping views. You also secure top-tier education. Schools in the Lake Travis and Dripping Springs ISDs are highly sought after by relocating parents. However, our quadrant chart shows the harsh reality of living out here. Lakeway and Dripping Springs sit in the extremely low proximity zone, meaning you face a 30 to 40-plus minute drive into downtown. Because of the lakes and the rugged terrain, highway infrastructure out west is limited. You are often relying on a few crowded 2-lane roads to get into the city. Moving to a lifestyle escape means you are prioritizing weekend boating and natural beauty over weekday convenience. With over 50 zip codes to choose from, you can't rely on gut feeling. You need a strict system to filter your options. This decision tree maps your family's priorities directly to the right zip code. It starts with your single biggest constraint. It's stretching your budget for a large house and securing top schools are non-negotiable. You head north. The tree points you straight to Round Rock or Cedar Park. If time is your most precious asset and you have the budget to protect it, you optimize for commute. That points you directly to Westlake Hills. If you care more about walking to a coffee shop than securing an elite school district, you filter for urban convenience. The system leads you to Mueller. And if you want a boat slip on the weekend and don't mind a long weekday drive, you follow the nature path. You end up in Lakeway or Dripping Springs. A successful move doesn't start with Zillow. It depends entirely on an honest conversation about what your family is willing to trade. Before you look at a single listing, sit down and establish your 2 non-negotiable variables today. Austin's sprawling footprint can be intimidating, but that size is exactly what creates such a diverse set of communities. From walkable city grids to expansive hill country acreage, the options are out there. There is a perfect neighborhood for you in this city. You just have to know exactly what you're willing to trade to get there.